people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, but more importantly, blue morning to you because, of course, it is the Blue Morning Show. And as usual, please excuse me while I take a sip of my coffee so that I can wake up properly. It is at 3:03 a.m. here, and I am proud of myself not to waste you guys' time while you're there waiting for me. Again, today we have as always, quite a lot to talk about. We'll talk about Raheem Sterling. We'll talk about the issue with Deco. We'll talk about whatever those people in the chat brings up. We'll talk about Ousmane Dembele, and I'll let you know why I think he may well not come to Chelsea. And then we'll talk about Javivel, whether Thomas Tuchel will make a space for him in the squad now that he is high on confidence. So again, as usual, we have quite a lot to talk about. But before we start, let's play the intro one more time. Yes, people, welcome back. Welcome back to the Blue Morning Show. And I say there's a tradition here. First, I will go through what we already have in the chat because it is an interactive show. And the first person to input here is Philip Smith, my brother from India. How are you doing? I hope things are well with you. He says the deal for Rafinha is still on for Chelsea. Leeds have not accepted any deal from Barcelona. Breaking news from Fabrizio Romano. I've read that myself. Leeds United, they're saying that the only deal that they've accepted is from Chelsea Football Club, and that's why we're hearing that there are some. You could call it a tussle between Leeds United and the what's it called, Rafinha camp. But we'll talk more about that in a bit. Seth Ado Mensa says we have to make sure the player is willing to come to Chelsea first in order not to repeat the Lukaku saga. Again, the Lukaku one is, you could say it's a different case. There are players that, in the first place, doesn't want to come to you, but when you get them, they give you 100% whenever they are on the pitch. So the Lukaku case, you could argue, it's a different case altogether. Again, it's not entirely up to Lukaku. The fault isn't entirely Lukaku's. Okay, there are other people who are to blame too. Liam Lane says, Blue Morning, Kachula, panel and chat. Blue morning to you, Liam Lane. I hope you're doing well. Photoshopping is a Jukes Kounde, says my good friend, True Blue. Again, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I get it. I get it has to do with the thumbnail of the show. He says, True Blue, guess it must be true if Fab and Ram say so. There's a chance. You never know. Liam Lane says Deco himself has caused all these problems, as it is reported this morning that he took commission from Barcelona for the deal in January and was assuming Leeds will be relegated, and Barca gets him for 25 million. Whoa, okay. I think we really need to talk about that too. Now he is in bigger trouble because Leeds has stayed up and Barca cannot afford it to match our deal, and Leeds won't accept anything else, according to report. That's why Deco is trying to push the deal. And again, Leeds will be, again, I mean no disrespect to Leeds United. They be stupid to accept anything less than the amount we're offering. Again, it just wouldn't make sense to accept anything less. Here it says, Vox Edit. Again, Liam, sorry if I haven't asked, and truly if I haven't asked, I hope things are well at your end. But again, nice to see you guys around also. Liam, again, I think I've read this one. It says, Vox Edit says, hopefully we get the here we go soon for Sterling. I think we'll get that, and I still believe that he would do well at Chelsea. Hopefully the manager will not play him out of position. Again, I thank Rafinha for being honest instead of lying and saying he dreams of playing for us. Again, I know where you're getting that from. The truth is, in Lukaku's case, there's a chance he didn't lie, because after all, that's a video. There's a video that circulated a while ago that showed a teenage Lukaku walking around Stamford Bridge, saying how much you could see it on his face that he was really happy to be there, how much he loved the club, and how much he would love to play on that pitch. So things went down south for him after his return for the second stint at the club. That doesn't mean he doesn't love the club. Okay, there are other people to blame. Again, I'm not going to go into that today. So again, while you are at it, I think I don't know why we have just 5 likes at this moment. I think we should be doing better than that. If you haven't liked the video, please take a second to like the video. And like I've always said here, I'd rather you like the video than donate to the channel. There are other ways the channel can make money. You don't have to donate your hard-earned cash to the channel, but just keep liking the video, because the more you like the video, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and the more people will be able to reach. And the more people we have here, the more fun we'll have, and the more people that will subscribe to the channel, and that will help the channel grow. So please keep liking the video. I'd really appreciate that if you can take a second to do that. Now, there are a lot of emerging stories, and I hope that we'll be able to touch all of them one by one. I think if Barca gets a Rafinha, we get Dembele. Getting Dembele isn't actually that simple, and that's why we have him on the list today. We will talk about him, and I'm hoping to have some people on the panel to discuss, why I think Dembele may not come to Chelsea. Already we're hearing that his salary is an issue. If he's leaving Barcelona because of his salary, he's injury prone. He has to go through, he has to play through a whole season without getting injured for you to say, okay, maybe that period in his career has passed, that he's no longer injury prone. And if you're in the chat, please do let me know if you can hear me quite well. I really want to know. And the topic I wanted us to start with is this kid right here. I think he's been brilliant. Harvey Vell. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I think the kid is brilliant, and I'm not sure. The question I want to ask, I'm not sure whether Thomas Tuchel has a plan for the kid in his squad, because usually I think the best way, to treat the career of kids like this is, now that he's won this, he's captained this young English side to become European champions. Now is the period, to tap him. Now that he's high on confidence, integrate him into the first team, and see him blossom. There's a chance that happens. You have to, give him the opportunity now that he's high on confidence. He doesn't have to play every game, even if it is, the cup games during the season. I think that will go a long way. And there's a chance that he does so well that he gets us to start during Premier League games. So I think Thomas Tuchel should give this kid a chance. And if you're in the chat, let me know what you think. Whether you think Thomas Tuchel should give Harvey Vell a chance in the first team. I think he deserves that. Again, some people will say he's not ready. Again, you can prepare him to be part. You can prepare him to be part of the first team by keeping him in the team. And the more he trains with the team, the more familiar he becomes, with the way you want the team to play. And just look at, I always like to use the example of Phil Foden. This kid might well be, this kid has the talent to do even better than Phil Foden, but you have to give him a chance in the team. Loans aren't always the best option for this kid. Now that he's a European champion, now that he's high on confidence, integrating him into the team, and let him take him from there. And if you're in the chat, let me know what you think about that suggestion. I think that is what the club should do. Rocksteady says in preseason, we should try Vell, Broya Cowell, and Subel, and see who's the most developed. Again, in most cases, here's the thing: preseason games, you could say aren't enough. You could argue are not enough, will not be enough to help you to understand how good of a player such as Javier will be. He needs a proper Premier League games, or like give him a chance in a Premier League games to see what he does. Then you can judge him from there, and not just preseason games. Why do I argue that? Because during preseasons, usually managers do experiment a lot, and that's where my argument comes in. Managers experiment a lot during preseasons. Usually, players don't get the chance maybe to play in their preferred positions, or maybe you could argue, how do I phrase it again? There's not enough time for you to really find out what a player is capable of doing. I think from what this kid has done during proper games during the season, and again, this competition in the Euro competition, there, I think for me is enough to, he's done enough to be part of the team. And like I've argued before, he doesn't have to start every game. Okay. Again, let me see what we have here. And I have my brother. Okay, he says, Vox Edit here says, Tuchel should do what Lampard did. Lampard used so many young stars and developed them. Here's the thing. Excuse me. Lampard's case is different. The truth remains, if if the club wasn't on this, on the ban, transfer ban, a UEFA transfer ban, then Lampard, I don't think he'd give too many youngsters chance. He'd be focused on cementing his legacy at the club as a manager, then give the youngsters a chance. But because he was, the club was facing the transfer ban, then he was forced to use the youngsters. So again, okay. Now tell me what happened. The moment he started, he had the chance to bring in players. He started dropping some of those youngsters, except for those you could argue that were exceptional. Yes, in a bit I will send you the link. Except for those that were exceptional, such as Mason Mount, but even under his reign, Tammy Abraham didn't do that bad. But the moment he had the chance to sign a few players, spend millions and signing new players, he started dropping Tammy Abraham. He started dropping Fikayo Tomori and a few. You pay attention to that. So Lampard didn't do that by design. I think circumstances forced him to start looking at. Circumstances forced him to start looking at younger players. It wasn't like he was going to do that anyway. Yes, and again, I think he trusted. He trusted Mason Mount because he had him at Derby County, so it was easy to give him a chance. So you could argue that. So it wasn't like he. Again, I'm going to keep sounding. I'm going to start sounding like a broken record. Like what I've said already. I'm trying to send somebody. I'm losing. I'm not concentrated very well because I'm trying to send a link to Adil's CFC. So again, the moment he started signing players, he started dropping. Those kids what all thought was going to be part of the team for a long time. So again, like I've argued, like you know by yourself, it wasn't by design. It was by accident. Now. Here, Adil CFC says, a big up Kachila. Me and Ty had few debates yesterday on the phone. Wow, debates. Okay, I'd like to know about it. We'll talk about it. And I hope you're well, Adil CFC. I hope things are well on your end. I really do mean that. And here's Tobago CFC. Big up, coach, and the chat. Big up to you too, brother. I'm looking forward to the launch of your YouTube channel, which I know will happen tomorrow. Hit the like button. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Yes, people, keep liking the video. Right now, we have just 9 likes while we have 23 people watching. We can do better than that. And remember, the more you like the video, the more people we can reach and the more fun the show will be. And Deals, I think I've sent you the link already. Let me know if it is the correct link. If it's not, I will try to correct it. I says, yes, you can always. Whenever if you have the link, you can hop on. Just we're limited to 6 people right now. I hope we got a 4 at the back. Hit the 5 at the back. Again, we don't know what the manager intends to do in the coming season. He said openly he's not going to change it. I hope he's just just trying to keep his cards close to his chest and not show his hands before the season starts. But that's, by the way, let's see. Hopefully, if he gets in more players, that are suitable to the way he likes to approach the game, maybe he does things differently this time. But we will see. Thank you very much for that, Lane. And I know you're talking about how Lampard, him using lots of those kids weren't by design. It was just circumstances forced him to do so. If he had the chance, yes, he would have, bought players from outside because he wanted to cement his legacy as a manager at the club. Vox Edit says, I think we need to get rid of Werner. He's on 290K a week and cannot score a goal and misses open goals. Here's the thing. I think for not because of the misses. I think the sole reason why I think Werner should leave the club is he needs to go where maybe the system or where the manager will be willing to accommodate the way he likes to play, just like he did at Leipzig. I think Werner is better off deployed as a second striker and not on the flanks or as a lone striker. I think he does well when you pair him with somebody else. And Tuchel hasn't done that as often as I'd like to see him do, to really argue that he's given Werner the chance, to show what he's capable of doing at Chelsea Football Club. He hasn't really done that. So Werner leaving, I'm not going to accuse him of missing chances. I think we've seen flashes of what he's capable of doing. Werner would leave with my blessings. Again, that's me, because whenever he's on the pitch, he gives 150% plus. Even when he isn't, when you could argue things aren't going his way, he always does well. But again, that's me. And let me catch up with the chat, and I'll come to Dales, who's in the room with me already, and ask him what he thinks about whether Thomas Tuchel should give Harveyville a chance. I think Tuchel should go with the idea of Broja replacing Lukaku and Dembele, who is a free man. Yep, I do agree with you. I've heard people call for the club to go for Robert Lewandowski. And the question is whether those people that are calling for the club to sign another out striker, if they're really paying attention to what Thomas Tuchel has done. He's shown, you could argue, he's not the type to use out strikers. We've seen what happened to Olivier Giroud. We've seen what happened to Tammy Abraham. If you follow this team, at least let me say from Borussia Dortmund, he doesn't use traditional strikers. He prefers fluidity up front. If you look at his team at PSG, he had Mora, Icardi, he had Edison, Cavani, but he didn't use them that much, and which was why you could argue Cavani had to leave. I think they still have Icardi, but the fact is, he's not the type of manager that uses traditional strikers that often. When we play five at the back, Reece and Chile play so good, but when our CBs get injured, we cannot do anything. Or when Reece and Chile get injured, we can't do anything. We might win the league. Again, that's tough to say right now. If we're gonna make too many changes.
Yeah, too many changes.
Yeah, if we're gonna make too many changes, it will be very difficult to say what we're able to do. But again, that's a chance that we still make it into the top four if we are strategic. If we're strategic with our purchases, if we're strategic with our signings, we could still do well. But the truth is, we have to be strategic about it. I love Werner. I just think we've given him so many chances, but I cannot deal with strikers who cannot put the ball in the net. Again, you cannot argue that Werner that his numbers aren't that bad at Chelsea Football Club. If you look at it, I think he's one of those with the best, goals contribution since his arrival. If you ask me, I just wave goodbye to Broja. There's a chance that happens because I'm hearing Chelsea. There's a chance Chelsea use him as a make weight to get a player. I think it was you that mentioned that at first, and we thought that as well because the kid also is smart, and there are no shortage of bias, and I'm sure he already knows that because even Southampton wants to keep him. And when that is happening, why would he come back and risk, sitting on the bench in most games? I don't think it would make sense. True Blue, where is Breuer going? Nowhere yet. If you ask me, win the league, yeah, it's a laughing stuff. Now, coming to you, Deals.
Yep.
Your thoughts on what I said about Javi Vel, don't you think we should give him a chance?
Yes, if we're getting rid of a few wingers. Well, I see him getting a chance if we're getting rid of the likes of Timo Werner, Ziyech, and maybe Pulisic. But if we're not getting rid of Pulisic, I think Harvey Vale might have to go on a loan. We haven't seen Harvey Vale come into the side in the Premier League, like start 11 or come up on the bench from the Premier League game, have we? Or have we?
No, I don't remember. I think when I last saw him, participate in a game, it was in a cup game.
Yeah. So we're talking about this with Harvey Vale. I feel that he needs a loan. Give him a loan.
The loan thing doesn't work for everybody. Here's my argument. Yeah. I don't know if you heard me when I made that argument. I think we're better off now that the kid is high on confidence. He's done well. He's captained the side to a European glory.
But you don't want to be making another mistake like Hudson-Odoi. This is the thing. Hudson-Odoi needed a loan, and we don't want to be making another mistake with Harvey Vale with Hudson-Odoi.
So you don't think he's good enough to be? Look. I've always used the case of Phil Foden as an example. It all comes down to him also. 50%, the same 50% is the manager. If he can be patient and if the manager can guarantee him games here and there, cup games, all the cup games, and sometimes the Premier League games like 20, 25 minutes game, before you know it, we need to build on the confidence that he's on right now. He's high on confidence. That's my argument.
Coachella, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. How many wingers do you reckon we're gonna get rid of this summer?
How many wingers?
Yeah. How many wingers do you reckon?
That's a chance Pulisic leaves also. Because we're hearing quite a lot. I've always thought maybe the club are not gonna let him because he means more than just a footballer for the club. Because I'm beginning to see, and from what I'm reading, from what I'm hearing, that they may well let him go. And the fact is Thomas Tuchel doesn't really trust him. Christian Pulisic will leave. As we're seeing, we're already the rumors are they're already negotiating with AC Milan because they want Hakim Ziyech.
Yep, I know about that.
So that creates space for the kid.
What about Timo Werner? Because the rumors.
There are rumors also that we want to offer him. You want to use him as a midweight for the De Ligt deal, and we're hearing that Juve really wants him.
But we heard that Pulisic wanted they want to put Pulisic as well.
I think they want just a single player. I don't think they wanted two players for De Ligt. I don't think Chelsea will give them both. But you get my argument with Javi Vale. Let me understand. Nick, your thoughts on Javi Vale. Don't you think that now he's high on confidence, that Thomas Tuchel should integrate him into the first team, give him games here and there, and let him develop with the team now that he's high on confidence? That's my argument. Nick, as you're talking quickly, I'm going to go take care of something and be back.
Nick?
It usually takes him time to unmute his phone. But while I wait for Nick, Bobby, I'm sure, welcome to the panel, Bobby. I'm sure you heard my question regarding Javi Vale. What do you think? And greetings to you, by the way.
Coach, I kind of got the tail end of what you said about Harvey Vale, something about trusting him.
Not really. I'm saying, it's part of it is trusting him. And now that he's captained, he didn't just win. He captained the English side to become the young English side to become European champions. He's high on confidence. If you integrate him now, let him build on that confidence. Be part of the team. Like you've always said, he doesn't have to play every game. He can play 10 or 15, 20 minutes or 25 minutes, every now and then in Premier League, but get to play lots of cup games. And then he's part of the team. He will get to understand how the manager likes to approach the game, because going out on loan sounds easy, but it's usually not easy, because if you go out on loan, you'd have to be in exceptional form to come in and walk into the team. Even at that, sometimes when you come back, the manager will say, I would have to look at you during preseason, which means I'd have to see how you fit into how you fit into how I like the game played. But if he stays with the team, he gets to understand, to learn that, and then before you know it, he starts to become a starter. And I've always liked to use Phil Foden as an example. So your thoughts, and while you're talking, I'm going to take care of something quickly and be back.
Yeah, I mean, Harvey Vale is preseason starts today, so I don't know whether he's back at Cobham. If he is, he will definitely be looked at over preseason. Chelsea have options. The problem we have is that our options are all from our academy. If we really need to, yet again, Chelsea can rely on the academy in full to field the squad. Should he stay and be trusted? Well, if we don't get the likes of Rafinha or Dembele and all these sort of attacking talents that we're looking at, we may need to look at him as an option very seriously. Should he be given the chance regardless?
No.
Well, there's a slight sort of pecking order, isn't there? We've got Conor Gallagher coming back, who has to be ahead of him. There's still the likes of Billy Gilmore hanging around somewhere, and he would be ahead of him. So it's just a matter of that, really. I mean, these guys have already paid their dues and gone out on loan. So it really wouldn't be fair to them to just have Harvey Vale step ahead of them. Unless in pre-season, Harvey Vale shows that he is that good that it's not the choice he will force the choice. So yeah. I mean, he's definitely in the reckoning. That's for sure.
So you're not. Sorry, maybe I missed what you were saying. You're not really sure we should keep. He has to. You're saying he has to go out on loan, like you said. You use the term that the likes of Billy Gilmore, who's paid their dues, cannot sit and watch him get integrated in the team. Was that into the team? Was that your argument?
I'm saying preseason starts today.
Mm-hmm.
So he has from today to prove himself to Tuchel to be part of the squad. We don't have any signings, which is a matter of serious concern, because all our rivals are not only going into pre-season, but they're going into pre-season with their signings, which is very important. So there, yet again, Confusion FC is operating under a cloud of confusion. However, the advantage, if it can be called an advantage, Chelsea have, is that we've got this pool of academy graduates that we can look at, but they're going to have to be able to step up. So the conclusion of my answer is we won't know whether he will actually even deserve that opportunity until pre-season is done. This is his time now to prove himself. But it's what I was thinking was that it's going to be very hard for him. There are other young players who have already paid their dues. They've been out on loan. They've been around, and they're likely to steal a march on him. But you never know. Talent is talent, and it doesn't matter how old you are. In my opinion, if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah, I think that's the case. Deals, you want to add anything to it before we move on to the next one we have to talk about?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. Okay, so now I'm going to try to catch up with the chart, and I'll come back and we'll take it from there. And here it says, let me read this one. So I am hoping that we give Vale a chance. When I saw him play this past season for us, you could just see the potential and what he has in him. And he's such a confident player. That's one thing I like about him the most. And it says, Triple says the loan thing worked for Mason Mount, Tomori, ATC. Just don't be sending them to France and relegation doomed clubs. That is just the truth. But again, there's something that I argued here before. most clubs except for relegation clubs and bottom table teams, are usually the teams that take this Chelsea Academy products seriously. Like clubs, you would expect, to take them seriously and then give them a chance to really develop. They have their own players, which they usually prioritize. And they see these lone players as just, a big part of their squad. They don't start them all the time. They only give them chances when their starting players get injured. That's usually the case in most times, because they see it as they developing their players for you. If they have good enough talent, your player will never get a chance except if they have an injury case, and which was what happened. For instance, Ampadu during his loan stay in Germany, even as good as he was, in that game he played for them, we saw how good he can be, but he didn't play that much until that defender got injured. That was when he got a chance to play even in the Champions League, and we were able to see what he's capable of doing. So that's my argument. So usually where the chances are for these kids when going on loan is usually the Championship or, bottom table teams in the Premier League and all that. But I get your argument. It makes sense. I get where you're coming from. And Life No Limit says, blue morning, peoples. Blue morning to you too, brother. Nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. And Tobago again says, Ziyech might go to AC Milan and Pulisic might go to Juventus. Part of SWAT deal for De Ligt. Yep, I've said that before, but I don't think we'd give them two players. Here's one thing again. I think there's a chance. Yes,
Coach, Pulisic is going nowhere. All these Chelsea detractors trying to fantasize as to how to weaken the club further. Pulisic is going nowhere. What reason do Juventus want Pulisic? Because of his commercial value. What, Chelsea don't want commercial value?
Which Todd Boehly is very aware of, yeah.
Going nowhere. He's not. They're not so. They've made it clear that De Ligt can leave. Only it has to suit everybody. Now, if we offered a player in the deal, we've offered them Werner. If they don't want him, then we ask them what else. Well, what else do you want? If they say they want cash, then we look to offer them cash. You don't offload your assets stupidly. This is the point I'm making. People just come up with these things and start pushing these things without thinking, oh, give them Pulisic. No, give him, let him go. Okay, if he goes, what have you got to face a grueling season with fierce competition? It's insane, Pulisic to Juventus. I don't even want to hear that. I've got to a point where I'm so bored with all this stuff. I don't want to hear, oh, Chelsea's chasing after this person. I'm at the point where this weekend, I want to see people walking through the door, at least one person. Well, I'll just shut it, for me personally, on Monday, if I hear we're after Sterling, I'll just, wherever I see it in my social media feed, I'll shut it down. I'm not interested. Move on, man. Why are we're turning into this club that I don't recognize. No spine, no backbone. It's like the fan base and everybody's ready to accept anything. Why on God's earth will we be looking to give Pulisic to Juventus? How does that in any way, shape or form strengthen Chelsea? It makes no sense.
Here's the thing, Bobby. We've talked about it here, and I'm one of the people that argues very strongly that I don't see the club selling him from a business perspective. I actually have a video where I argued why Chelsea will not sell him. And part of my argument is that he's a good footballer. He's still young. He needs time. And I've used examples that Stav used to talk about. This example, for instance, the case of Ian Robben. The moment he left Chelsea, the rest is history. But here's the thing. If the player himself gets frustrated, and we've seen his father put out some tweets and deleted immediately regarding playing time. One thing is for the club to want to keep the player, but the other thing is for the player to want to stay. If he wants to leave, there's a chance he may well leave. Well, but I hope that's not the case. Yeah.
That's if. That's an if, yeah. If I win the lottery, there's a chance I'll buy, a personal jet. I mean, we get into these things, and I'm thinking, where is this coming? He hasn't said he wants to leave Chelsea. The last I heard, the most recent thing he said is that he's very happy to play and that he's looking for more game time, which means he's ready to fight for whatever place is available for him. So we're coming up with these things that is just, to me, I just think, what is going on? Why are we like this?
It's not something you can change. Let me quickly catch up with the chat, and I'll come back to the panel and get Nick's thoughts on Harveyville. Then we'll move on to the next topic. But I get your argument. Again, it's not something you can't do anything about it. Saleh Sinner here says we should sell Timo Werner. Again, we have 55 people watching, and we have just 20 likes. Let's shoot for 300 likes today. And thank you for 20 likes already. But please keep liking the video. Keep liking the video. And as I've always told you, you don't even have to donate. I think the likes alone will go a long way for the channel. So keep liking the video if you haven't. Like the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And please share the stream on whatever social media platforms where you have presence. That way we can get more people to join us, and the show will be and the show will be and the show will be more fun if we have more people here. Sorry, Diaz, I had to meet you because some noise was coming from your area. Ray Allen says, Ray Allen, it's been a minute, brother. I hope you're doing well. I would sell the whole Chelsea team for Neymar. Thank you very much. Again, we'll talk about that later. Vox says, I don't see Pulisic leaving because the owner is American, and he is good over the look of the club. Not even the look, business, first of all, business. He sold more shirts in the United States than Cristiano Ronaldo did this past year. And all the argument, it goes through Nike, but it's all business. It's all related to the club also. So I guess that I will be very surprised if Pulisic is let go. I'm the same with you, but let's see what happens. Hopefully he doesn't want to leave. But I remember his last public statement was that the new owners are good people and that he's looking forward to the future at Chelsea, that he just wants to play more. And that makes sense to me.
What about Pulisic's dad, though? Pulisic's dad?
I think the dads will always be dads, but that doesn't change anything. But I know whatever his dad does, it can actually annoy the manager. But again, we're not here to talk about Pulisic, but you get my point, Dales. The leader should come to Chelsea. We're looking to get him. And Life No Limit says, how many times should we keep making the same mistakes? Chelsea Academy is one of the best in the world. TT should give him a chance. Take him into the States and give him a real games. That's my argument. Again, if Pulisic and Ziyech leave, they will be replaced. Yeah, that's for sure. Yes. Again, if they leave, there's a chance. Again, there's no player is irreplaceable. Let's just phrase it that way. Let me see anything here to address. I don't think there's anything serious here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm reading the guy that wrote that is sitting on the panel. And as inexperienced as Frank Lampard was, we owe him a debt for playing so many youth players. City has to earn his money. Talk to these academy players and give them confidence that he believes in them. Again, it's a difficult one. We've talked about why Frank Lampard had to do what he did. It wasn't by design. Circumstances forced him to use the youth. And when he had the opportunity to buy players, he started using them less and less and less, and some of them wanted to leave. Ray, firstly, he isn't rubbish, and secondly, he is a top marketing player. That's why. That's the truth. He is not rubbish. Says anyone that knows anything about football would know any player that's so-called rubbish. Not my words. No, I don't. I'm not into calling players' name no matter how bad they are. And I know you know that. Yes, again, don't we ever learn? Again, I'm going to skip to the bottom, and then I'll try to catch up. If Damien Duff here says, Timo Werner, Ziyech, Lukaku leaving Pulisic is if offer is good, we should consider. Again, that's your suggestion. Let's see what the club does. Cho needs a loan or sell, not good enough. I thought Thomas Tuchel would let Cho leave the club. So, Nick, I'm going to come to you immediately. Your thoughts on Harveyville, and I'm sure you've heard my argument on why the club should keep him. But before Nick starts to talk, please keep liking the video, people.
Yes, Yeah, first of all, let me ask you something.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure about. Are you still doing the Roman Abramovich tribute, or is that
Yes,
gone?
yes. We're just waiting for the transfer
Ah,
window to end.
all right. So I just wanted to know. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
All
still
right.
on, and the price is
Okay.
$150.
Yeah. I know it's not about the price. I just wondered if you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Good.
Let me explain something. This is why we're leaving it till after the transfer window.
Ah,
We want to see,
yes.
okay, when everybody's just settled, okay, now it's Todd Boehly, then we'll bring him back into the fold again. Says, let's remember this man with
Yes,
this.
of course.
So go
Yes, it's
ahead.
very important that
Mhm.
that is done. Yeah, Harry Bell, sorry. Yeah, he, what I see of him, the little we've seen of him, he's been good. I want him, to come back. He is in pre-season now. He's come back, I think, and playing pre-season, getting used to the players around him. I don't know if he's going to make the first team straight away. He probably won't. Like he's a
Mhm.
good player to keep in the squad. I'm sure he will be. Plus, with all the other great youngsters we have, they all be in the squad for me. I think. From Ampadu to Gallagher to Gilmore, who have I missed out? Chalaba he's already in the squad. He's made his name, and he has to improve a little bit. So he will. He's still young. I'm not worried about our players. I'm worried that I just want to know. I know Sterling is a done deal now. We know he's going to sign any time, any minute now. He can sign the contract, and Chelsea will announce it. Probably
Mhm.
announce it Monday. Monday is the day Chelsea announce things. So Harry Vale is very good. He played. I saw a couple of games he played when he came on for the. He played in the cup game, I think. He was good. And he's all right. Like I said, now I want the JIT, to get that now. I heard,
You call him legit.
we're still talking. Yeah, the JIT. That's his name, the JIT, not legit, the JIT. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for the most important player on this planet for Chelsea now is Koulibaly. That's the man we want more than anyone else.
You don't want Kunde?
Before
Okay, we will take them one by
Koulibaly
one. Let's
is
not
the
switch
most
topics.
important. For me, Koulibaly is more important than any other
Nick,
player
we'll
we're
get
trying to
to
get.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
once
have to mention,
we'll get to him.
yeah,
We're talking about Harvey Vale right now.
Yeah, Harry Vale is a good youngster. He's going to come in. He's pre-season, and he's got a chance to be in
Okay.
the squad. We're not selling him, I don't think. Chelsea, they
No, I'm
don't
not
sell
talking.
them.
My argument is that we shouldn't even take it. He's won something now. It's
Yeah,
important. Timing is important.
yeah,
Timing is important. If he can bring him into the team, now that he's high on confidence after winning this,
yes.
believe me, the rest will be history. But again, that's me. Let me quickly catch up with the chat, and I'll come back to the panel. We'll start talking about Raheem Sterling and where we are with his deal to Chelsea Football Club. Says Liam wanted me to read this, and sorry I didn't read it completely. He says anyone that knows anything about football would know any player that is so-called rubbish, not my words, would not be bought by the club. That's the truth. So just have a bit of respect for any of our players. Again, yes, that I understood what you were saying, but that's why I said I myself am not also into calling players' name, and I never said you said I'm into it, but I get your point. So we should refrain from calling players' name. It's not okay. And
Yeah.
first of all, they're humans. We
Coach,
must recognize that.
can I just mention Pulisic? I forgot about that. Just 1 minute. Pulisic, I agree with Bobby. Of course, he's an asset for us. He makes millions in America, billions, whatever. But it's not about the shirt selling. He is young, and he's a great player. I don't want Captain America to go nowhere. But I can see him
Mhm.
stay, especially with Boehly. I hope he doesn't go. I know I heard Werner, Ziyech, and Pulisic were the favorites to leave for Tuchel. That was said. But I hope they just keep Pulisic. Let Werner, Ziyech, if you have to let them go, let them go, but not Pulisic. Yeah, I just want to say that.
Yeah, with that, I want to ask you to please keep liking the video, guys. We have just 27 likes while we have 64 people watching. The more you like the video, the more people will be able to reach. Christian Pulisic is only 23, still developing. I hate him being leveled as a marketable commodity. In there is still a developing player. I've said that myself, but we have to truly recognize that he means just more than just a footballer for the club. We knew that before time, and that's truly what it is. That Pulisic story makes a zero sense to me, to Bobby. Thanks for saying that he actually is a good player. That's the truth. He's actually a big game player. Actually, let me add to that. If you follow his Chelsea history, you see he's done well during big games. Actually, thanks for saying that. He actually is a good player, and when played properly, he performs. We need to stop being silly as a club. The truth is, yes, he's a good player. Has he always taken the opportunity given to him? I'd say no, and I'd give you a very good example. For instance, games up to the Champions League final, he had 2 games to stake a claim for starting place in the Champions League final, but he didn't really use it. But again, you could argue because he's still young. Maybe there's some measure of trying too hard to impress, but I know there's a good player in him, actually a world-class player in him. Lockdown Pulisic was so good. Yep, I remember that. The hat-trick, perfect hat-trick, actually. Header, left foot, right foot. I think that's a hat-trick. Was it against Boehly? I don't remember. The academy was always there to make money for spending on the first team. If an exceptional player come true, that was a bonus. I think this is a delicious comment here, which are just for me overall simply means we can't keep them all, no matter how we argue it. But every now and then, an exceptional player will come through. But I want us to maximize, the usage of those exceptional players. There's been examples of exceptional players who's come true, but in the end, we're nowhere to be found. But I get your argument. That's a very good one. Let me see anything here. Timo Werner, Ziyech, Lukaku, having Pulisic. Again, I've read that before. I'm going to skip to the very bottom, and if I skip any of your messages, apologies. If Man City got Phillips for 40 million, I would take Philip at Chelsea. Does he suit how Thomas Tuchel once again played? It remains to be seen. These same fans calling for more youth to start games will be the ones raining abuses on the manager and player if results don't favor us. Academy players should earn their place and not demand. I get your point. But in the case of Harvey Vale, he's not demanding. It is just me saying, okay, let's give the kid a chance. Let's build on his confidence now that he's one of your captain, the young English team to a European, glory. Let's build on that confidence, and the rest will be history. Let me see anything here to his coach. He didn't have to play Tomori over David Luiz, but he did. He didn't have to play Tammy over Giroud, but he did. Frank Lampard believed in these players. Listen. In the case of David Luiz, I think there's something personal between the two of them. In the case of Olivier Giroud, Lampard needed a player young enough, quick enough to help him press from the front, and that was why I would argue Tammy Abraham started over Olivier Giroud. That is just that. Again, I get your argument, in life no limits. I get your argument, but I still tell you, Lampard played the youth because he had no option. If he had the option, he would have brought in players because he wanted to cement his legacy as a good coach at Chelsea Football Club. Again, you could argue otherwise. You have every right to do so, and I have every right to argue to make my own argument. And again, you ask yourself this question: what happened when he had the chance to sign Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, and all the players he signed? We started seeing less and less of those players, except for those he trusts the most. One example is Mason Mount. Okay. So look, people, if TT loses a couple of games, people will call for his head. That's Chelsea. If they don't do it, ask for their ID. So don't expect him to play young sides. Why do you think we spend the money on him? But I think he should find space for them. They don't have to start every game. Lewis Hall is a player we should give a chance. His case, when I saw him in that cup game where he made a mistake, and also he didn't drop his shoulder. He made the mistake, followed up immediately, corrected the mistake, got the ball back, and created the chance from the mistake he's made. And overall, during the game, he did quite well, and I thought maybe we're going to see more of him. And from then on, I'm not sure what happened. I didn't see more of him anymore. I was surprised. Kachila, blessed morning to you and the rest of the panel. It's quite astonishing to learn that Thomas Tuchel really wants Nathan Ake. I remember Bobby's argument. We talked about him here. Again, they say one man's food poison could be another man's food, and vice versa. If you want to phrase it that way, again, there's a chance he has he fits in very well into how he wants the game. How he approaches the football. So you never know. Who knew Antonio Rudiger will be that good until Thomas Tuchel came in? Antonio Rudiger, we all thought was on his way out of the gates of Stamford Bridge, but we remember what happened. So we see if he really wants him, we see what happens. I think it's crazy how Pulisic is only 23. Yeah, and when you hear people talk about him, you think that he's approaching 50, and it's too late for him to even get better. Yep. Again, it says Tuchel doesn't fancy Pulisic more of a super sub. That's how I see it. For us, under Tuchel, he had bright moments in UEFA Champions League runs for us, but he might do well for a team that plays to his strength. That's just simply the truth. Since that FA Cup final versus Arsenal, when Pulisic caught the hamstring injury, he hasn't been the same. There are other factors. Has he been given enough time, and has he been played in his preferred position? I would argue no, because he's a specialty player, and you always get the best out of him when you play him in his preferred position. Let Rafinha go to Barcelona. Don't want another divide by team. I've had enough. Again, that's your argument, Aki. Yep. Lewis Saul is only 17. No way is he. Are you saying you're surprised he's only 17? But again, in football, if you're good enough, you're good enough. We've heard players that are even younger do so well. So I'm going to come back to the panel, and I'm going to start with Dales, who I haven't spoken with. Dale, your thoughts on where we're at with the Raheem Sterling news? I think you could say the deal it's already done because the meeting scheduled with the meeting scheduled with Manchester City is just to put pen to paper and get the whole thing over the line. I think the what we saw, what we were reading a few hours ago is that everything has been agreed. I think personal terms won't be an issue and all that. Your thoughts, and how do you think he fits into Thomas Tuchel's style of play?
I think Sterling fits into the way that Tuchel wants to play. That's why Tuchel's getting him. And I feel that the way that we're playing at the moment with the three at top, he could play up the left side. Mm-hmm. Where the left side could be his natural position. See, is the right side, we don't know if he can play on the right side properly. See, would you not prefer to play him on the right side or the left side?
I think, if I remember correctly, I think he's usually on the left side for Manchester City. Sometimes they play him as a false nine. Sometimes he switches positions.
Yeah, so I think he will. I think he will thrive under Tuchel. That's why we're going after him. I feel that if he wasn't going after him, who else is out there on the left side is to go get? Who else?
What's the question again? Sorry.
What's my question?
Yeah, you asked the question.
Where do you think he would suit more? The left side or the right side?
Let me see. I think I don't really know him that well, if you ask me. I've watched this game, but I haven't paid attention where you could say any position. I think, like I've said, I've seen him on the right, I've seen him on the left, I've seen him deployed as a number 9. So you said something. Deals, but you mostly on the left. Even in the Champions League final, he started on the left.
Most people I hear from you, they say, "Oh, that Sterling needs to play up front with a striker up front, a traditional number 9." I don't believe that, because when he plays for England, he's the one that's turning up for England with Harry Kane, and he's more up front with England playing up front for England than Man City. You know what I'm saying? So when they're talking about a striker, that he needs to play up front with a striker, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. What do you not believe?
Yeah,
Bobby, go ahead. You come in if you want to.
yeah, he's right. I mean, I'm not in the camp here of makeshifting. I'm sorry, I couldn't even hear your panel yesterday. I wanted to input. I'm not in a camp of makeshifting players into different positions to make them competent to fit a certain style. That is like, what's the word? It's counterproductive. Last year we did it with Mason Mount and Havertz. I'll say it again, innit? Kai Havertz, he is not a striker. He is an attacking midfielder. He is your number 10. He behind the striker. So the idea of him being an up top guy will be, I don't see it in the long run. Sterling as well. The idea of saying Sterling sits with a traditional number 9, he needs to feed off. It's not working. You put Sterling on the right or you put Sterling on the left as an inverted winger or an inside forward or winger or out wide. He's direct enough to run at man. He's direct enough to get into the final third. Direct enough to get you a penalty. Direct enough to put the ball in the center for the number 9 or anyone in the box to slot it away. So let's not have the idea of makeshifting players to fit a certain style so we can get the best.
But that's what Thomas Tuchel does.
Yeah,
except if he changes the system entirely. Go ahead.
I think he's done that to accommodate what he has. I don't think he's done that to say, oh, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah. So today I'm going to make Havertz a striker because I wanted him to rotate with Lukaku. No. I don't think that's the idea. Lukaku was off form. I have no other striker. I'm going to have to play Kai. He's the most competent person after Lukaku that can play up front. I don't say he's a striker, but and he did get a couple goals. I mean, at the end of the day, the goals that he was scoring, I'm not saying they were bad, but anyone could put that. You put Phil Foden in that position, he'll score. You put any false nine, he'll score. So having the idea of making makeshift players is not really something I will lean with. I mean, if Thomas Tuchel is good at it, I wouldn't imagine him not to be bad at it. But for us to look in that, like yesterday, I was hearing comments of Rafinha, right wing back. I'm like, are we having a laugh? Are we actually seriously considering this type of notion when this guy is not a wing back? He's an inverted winger. It's something that we need to make sure when we get the players, we play them to their position so we can get maximize the best potential they can offer us. So Raheem Sterling, the maximum potential you'll get out of Raheem is out left or out wide on right, as an inverted winger or inside forward, having it vice versa on wide. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Let me ask you this quickly. Now, I understand your argument. Let me just ask you this: if we stick into 3 at the back system with 2 wing backs, 2 6s, 2 8s, where does it fit in?
You see that 2-8 you said, yeah? That 2-8 will go wide. So that it won't be central. Now, obviously, Mason Mount is not a winger. Kai Havertz is not a winger. So what he has had to do is bring them centrally so they can work in the middle and create space out wide while you have the cover with Reece James and Chilwell or Alonso and whoever was makeshift to Reece James's cover, be it Aspi, be it Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Those guys will have to be out wide so that the ball can be able to help with the two attacking midfielders. Now, because they are not out and out wingers, the play was always focused centrally. So to get the ball to Lukaku was quite hard. Now, if you have wingers in Ousmane, Rafinha, or Raheem Sterling out wide, I'm telling you, things will happen. Now, again, where do you put Mount in there now? Where do you put Kai Havertz in there now? When you have 3 at the back now,
in the 10,
you can still put him number 10. But again, if I'm playing Kante, if I'm playing 5 at the back, so if I got Reece James, let's just say for last season's sake, yeah. If I got Reece James, I got Rudiger, Christensen, Malang Sarr, and Chilwell. For example, I have Kovacic and Kante, and obviously, where am I going to put those 2 attacking midfielders in front of them? So again, I'll rather have them out wide. So Sterling and Rafinha, or Sterling or Dembele out wide with a lone striker. So what we did last year was have Havertz and Mount come in centrally. So it's literally 2 in midfield, 2 above them, and the striker. It was like a rectangular shaped box with a little triangle at top. So it was a bit harder. So I believe with the width, Tuchel will spread it, coach. He's not going to keep it central. We may even see Tuchel change the whole formation based on this situation. But what I believe is that he's going to spread that out wide. With the formation we have, we play with width, bro. So we're going to have to maximize the width so that ball can come into the pitch, into the 6-yard box.
Here's my counter argument for everything you've just explained right now. Now, when we play with a 3 at the back system, the 2 wing backs takes up the role of wingers. Even if you go vertical from our to the final third, they occupy that space. And you could argue that's the reason why whenever Pulisic or Hakim Ziyech plays as one of the 2 8s, they underperform. They don't play well.
Because again, say that again. So when you play Hakim Ziyech and Pulisic as the 2 8s, they don't play well.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Yeah.
More often than not, you don't get 100% from them, except when they are positioned on the flanks.
Exactly. So with Ziyech now, Ziyech is a hard one because Ziyech cannot run at man. Yeah, Ziyech cannot. If you are in front of Ziyech is not going to run at you like Rafinha will, like Raheem will,
or Dembele.
Or Dembele will. You know what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
Ziyech will take the ball, look for with his left foot, pinpoint across, pinpoint something. So he's inverted. So he's already useless because he's a one-trick pony. So I've not been an advocate of Ziyech since we signed him. I didn't think he is someone we needed, but I said, okay, let me just give him time. Last year, he really, really annoyed me in the beginning of the season, but he kind of changed it around when he was getting his goals in towards the end of last season. He was kind of picking up towards the Christmas time. Hakim Ziyech is a tricky one because he's a one-trick pony out wide. We need if we're going to use those wing backs. If we're going to use the width of our of the left, right wing, inverted inside forward or what have you, we'll need defenders that will be able to run at man. So we'll need people that will be.
It looks like we lost him there. Yep, looks like we lost him. Now, Deals, I'm going to come to you, Deals.
Yeah.
How do you think, Raheem? But just let me just quickly catch up with the chat before it becomes too long. And if you're coming, as you're coming in, wherever you're watching from, please do me a tiny bit of favor. Please do take a second to like the video. We have 82, we have 90 people plus watching, but we have just 40 likes. Please keep liking the video. It takes just a second.
Give me 5 minutes. I need to make a call.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, brother. And it doesn't cost anything. And if anybody asks you to pay, tell them in life, no limits had already paid for you. Please keep liking the video. That will go a long way for the channel. Before I go to Bobby, let me try quickly catch up Bobby and of course Deals CLC. Catch up with the chat. Vox says, I agree that Havertz isn't a proper number 9. That is actually the worst kept secret. Everybody knows that, but had to play him there because it was the only person who was scoring, and he's versatile enough to execute the role if you play him there, but it's not his strongest suit if you ask him. I can't wait over tomorrow to launch my channel. All thanks to the inspiration of Coach. Brother, you've been an inspiration there. We all have things that we can learn from each other. And yes, I am looking forward to that also, and I will help the best way I can. Gitonga David said, you argue Sterling was good in Man City because of the players around him. The likes of De Bruyne, Foden, Silva, do we have such players? That's a good argument. I'm going to come back to that in a bit. I said, if we are not getting Dembele and Rafinha, we should go for Gnabry. Bayern will need a striker. Timo can be used in the deal. He played well under Nagelsmann. Yep, I've argued that before. But I think it was True Blue that reminded me that Bayern, or the Bayern board, yes.
I'll talk about something in a minute to you about something. Wait then.
Okay, you want me to finish before you come in, or you want to come in right now?
No, I'll come in after in just a minute.
All right, thank you very much. Again, I've read that one there, but I think it was True Blue that argued the Bayern board was divided over getting Timo when he was still at Leipzig. Concerning Rafinha, Leeds have not accepted any beat from Barca. Yeah, we will talk about that. Philip Smith, they might accept the beat because Deco is pushing this deal. You can't force them to accept them. Leeds is a big club in their own right. And again, they've said it, if Barca cannot pay up or even pay more than Chelsea can pay immediately, it doesn't make business sense to them that Rafinha has to come to Chelsea. Havertz has no place to hide next season. He needs to show he's ready to deliver goals. Otherwise, we need to start considering that he brings or what he brings to the team quite a lot. And but I'm not going to argue that today. Fabrizio Romano is confirmed that Leeds United will not accept the bid from Barcelona. Yep. Again, that deal is becoming even more complicated. I guarantee next season Lukaku was just a bang and Inter Milan. You never can tell. Here's why it's going to be difficult for him. He's going to be under so much pressure. First of all, he had the fallout during that interview. I think, no, not the interview. He tried, to like, would you say? I don't think if reconcile would be the right word with the Inter fans because of they defaced his pictures and all that when he left them. Now he'd be under so much pressure to perform to show them that he still got it. So again, we'll see what happens. He says that Dean Henderson just went to Forest. Okay. Says yes, coach. All paid in full. Thank you very much for paying. I don't get why people say Sterling is bad. I think people just say that because maybe because he's English. I think he's a good player. The question will always be, will he work well the way that is, will it fit up well into how Thomas Tuchel likes to approach football? It remains to be seen, but I'd argue he'd do well under Thomas Tuchel. That's me. Big up, coach, panel, and chat. Nice to see you here, my brother Declan. I do hope you're doing well. Again, this a conversation between them. Dean Henderson just went to Forest. Okay. Good luck to him. Says, big up Declan. Are you high? Havertz won us the Champions League, and it's our best attacking player. Louis Rivera, respect to you, but we don't use such languages here. We respect each other. If you hear somebody say something you don't, like or believe, you present your counter argument. Again, that language there to me, I don't think it's okay. Is it true that Leeds will have to compensate Chelsea if Rafinha ends up in going to back? We'll talk about that. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything similar to that. Why are we still reluctant to catch up with the Kounde deal? Barca are also in for Kounde, trying to hijack that. I'll highlight this. We'll try to talk about it in a bit. Annoyed with our best player preseason who gets injured scoring the goal in Super Cup. Return wearing shoulder braces for 6 weeks. I watched Ziyech at Ajax. Again, I get your argument. Yes, I think he's done well, and you know how well you followed this channel long enough to say how much I love him. Inter fans love Lukaku. Yeah, but they hated him when he left. So let's see. Like I said, he'd be under so much pressure to perform. Exactly, Ziyech's class. That's no arguing that. I think there are factors that have led to him. I wouldn't say actually he's underperformed because he hasn't played enough games to judge him. You don't have enough sample size if you want to argue that. I think Kounde 60 mil is just a joke. We cannot go for Koulibaly for 40. We can just go for Koulibaly for 40. I apologize. No worries, brother. No worries, Luis. You're fine. And thank you. That shows you're a nice person. Barcelona trying to do a higher purchase. Higher purchase and get some players. Let's see how that works. Like Dan says on Twitter, it will come back to bite them. Bless up to you, Courtney. Nice to see you. Hijack FC, now Frenkie de Jong. I don't know how truthful that is, but we'll talk about it in a bit. I didn't hear anything about a DM. I'm not sure why, but we get back to that. Now, I'm going to come back to the panel. Bobby, your thoughts. How do you think, Raheem Sterling will fit into how Thomas Tuchel approaches the game from what we've learned so far? And if you're watching, please be sure to like the video. We have 90 people watching right now, 91 people watching, and we have just 49 likes. We can do better than that. Please keep liking the video to help us reach more people. Yeah, up to you, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't know what Raheem Sterling is going to bring to Chelsea without us strengthening in the areas we need to strengthen. Midfield in particular, defense, certainly. I don't see what he does. I don't see what the big advantage is.
He's better attacker than Pulisic. Ziyech.
Then who? Can you prove that to us?
Huh? Look at the
Exactly.
goals. Look at the goals and assists that he's done at Man City.
With how many games? If you compare the stats, he played nearly twice as much games as Ziyech did.
Yeah.
And his stats this past season isn't. I'll look it up for you. But Bobby, go ahead. Let me find the statistics.
I mean, I'm not opposed to his deal, and I'm not for his deal. It just doesn't excite me because I don't see what difference he can really make. We've got big issues. For example, if Koulibaly walks through the door, I will be excited because he's going to make a difference. He's going to plug that defensive gap that we have, and he's a decent player. He's a very, very good player. He's got presence, physicality, good in the air, good on the ground. You can actually name what he's going to do for the club. I'm struggling with Sterling. Are we buying hype? Is he really better than what we have? I hope he is. This is the thing. We're back to this area of hope, which concerns me. When we got Lukaku, I knew what he was. I knew he wasn't good. I was saying it when we were chasing him. Then when we bought him, it was a matter of, gosh, let's hope he performs well. And this is the kind of feeling I have with Sterling. I know what he is. He's not bad. But, what is he going to do for us that is so special that we should give him priority over the gaping holes in the team? I don't know. I'm confused. Welcome to Chelsea if we get him, but he's not the answer to our problems, for sure.
Here's the only reason why I'll come to you in a bit. Here's the only reason why I'm calm about that is this. Again, we've all called for the manager to be backed, and if Raheem Sterling is what Thomas Tuchel wants, we might blow against the wind. And for the statistics, really, this past season, 2021 season, he had he played 30 matches, 13 goals, 5 assists, and that's not bad. So he played more games than Ziyech. Ziyech played 23 Premier League games, scored 4 goals, and had 3 assists. He played more games, but then again, factors. I think we've talked about this before. Factors you need to consider is this. You could argue. Again, that's me, and that's I'm not being biased here.
Coach,
yeah.
How many games do we play in the Premier League in total? 38, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Ziyech played 23.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the problem? Why are people saying Ziyech?
No, I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying. I'm just comparing.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, why are people saying Ziyech needs more game time? He's had injuries. He's been off form, but yet he's played 23 games. This is the problem I have with the fan base. I think we've got detractors that have filtered into this fan base that try to push a negative narrative. Hakim Ziyech, 23 games. You've just called out the stats. It's insane.
Here's the thing, Bobby. What I'm trying to compare now, Sterling played more games. But here's the factor, the biggest factor that, I've looked at that's an issue for me. He's a specialty player. And the moment you play him out of position, you're never going to get the best out of him. And I think Thomas Tuchel knows that. And there's evidence that whenever you deploy him in his preferred position, which is on the flanks, he does better. He does 10 times better. There is evidence. Now,
I understand that for Ziyech.
I'm just making a point for Deals here, who's arguing. Yeah, go ahead.
I can assure you, anywhere he goes, apart from if he goes back to Ajax, he's not going to be fielded in this special position because football doesn't work like that. But anyway, I don't want to distract from your point. Going back to Raheem Sterling, yes, he has these good stats with Man City that is loaded with good players and
Liverpool.
Good finishers.
And Liverpool, he has history with Liverpool as well.
Okay, so my question then is, What exactly? I mean, I don't look at people like Pulisic as ineffective. He's a 23-year-old developing player. He's definitely going to get better. Same with Havertz. So what is it that I'm just, to me, it's not enough. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking for an impact in the forward line, not somebody that's just going to be a little bit of the same with a few extra goals here and there. It's not convincing for me personally. It's not. That's why it doesn't excite me. I was more excited about Rafinha because I could see the upgrade. I could visualize it. But honestly, I'm struggling with Raheem Sterling. I don't see what he's really going to do because Chelsea, especially with the front line, needs players that can make a difference. I can just imagine Raheem Sterling vanishing in games because we don't have the midfield to support him and the the defensive type of players to help create his opportunities up front.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that because I think he's gonna turn up. Still.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Let him finish. I'll come to my point. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I hope it works, but I'm not convinced. I would be excited to start seeing the defensive inclusions. And as I've said, from Monday, if I hear on my Twitter feed and anything that we're still talking about, but looking to get Raheem Sterling, I'll shut it down. If I hear, Chelsea's negotiating De Ligt, I'll shut it down. I'm not interested because we need to get these things done. It took 2 weeks for Tottenham to get Richarlison while we were still thinking about it. Really? I mean, come on. What are we? What's going on? I'm getting angry with the board, with the setup, with the situation.
Now, looking at coming to the stats again, and please, if you're not talking, can you mute yourself by yourself so I'm not the one to mute you because whatever you're doing comes out and the audience can hear that. Now, Raheem Sterling again. My argument is this: Ziyech, I get Bobby's point, quite all right. Ziyech was majority of the times played out of position. Raheem Sterling, 99.9% of the times at Man City, was deployed, plays in the position where he prefers. Whether as a false nine, you still get the best out of him because he's a good runner. On the flanks, he's a good dribbler, and also again all those things. And he has players around him that bring, But let's forget about the players around him. And those you telling me if it comes to Chelsea, if he gets placed as one of the 2/8s, he still do well.
Who?
Raheem Sterling.
What, on the wings?
No, if it comes to Chelsea, not on the wings, because the wing backs. They operate, with the wing, but the way if we play 3 at the back system, the wing backs take on the role of the wingers.
See, this is the
thing. That's why
usually
you see us deploy 2/8s.
See, this is the thing, yeah. I think Tuchel's going to change the formation when Sterling comes, and depending on Dembele as well. I think if Dembele comes, it makes a different. Tuchel's changing formation.
We'll see. We'll talk about Dembele in a bit. Ty,
and that's all the more reason he needs these guys before pre-season. You don't just come in and then the formation changes. You haven't practiced, you haven't rehearsed it, and mid-season you're rehearsing a new formation. This is the time to do this. So we've become Chaos FC. We're bringing things. We're acting too slow. This is the point I'm making.
You're forgetting, Bobby. Yeah. Todd Boehly is dealing with everything on his own, like with Tuchel on his own. So he's not just dealing with a lot. He's dealing with a lot of stuff right now.
That is so stupid in itself of him.
No, but why? Why?
Well, because he has no faith in the former board. I don't blame him, but where I do blame Boehly and co. is that they were coming in to buy a top football club. By now, you've set your plans. You've got the people. When Roman Abramovich bought Chelsea, he already knew he wanted a new manager. That's why we used to say that Ranieri was dead man walking. No matter what happened with Ranieri, everybody knew that Roman was going to get Mourinho the next season. He had his targets. He already came in with his board. Eugene, forgot Tab. I always forget his surname.
Tenenbo.
Yeah, Eugene, Bruce Buck. He had his people and he slotted them in straight away. Now Boehly has come in and Clear Lake Capital. Who
Peter
are their
Kenyon.
people? Yeah, Kenyon. It's one of the first moves Roman did. He put in Peter Kenyon for his dealings, and they started bringing in players.
All right, let's not digress too much.
Well,
Yeah, thank you. Again, I'm gonna come back to the panel quickly. And Ty, are you there?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, Ty, your thoughts on this comment on the screen before I bring it. I wanted LB to get LB's thoughts on that comment. Said you'd argue, that's from Gitanga David, that Sterling was good at Man City because of the players around him, the likes of De Bruyne, Foden, Silva. Do we have such players? And also, he's played in his preferred positions. What happens if he comes to Chelsea and we don't have those players? Do we have players, Tie up to you? You can see the comments yourself. Plus, he plays, add to the statements on the screen, and he plays as one of the two eights. And before Ty comes in, please, if you haven't, please take a second to like the video. I'd appreciate that if you can do that, please. It takes just a second. It doesn't cost anything. Go ahead, Ty.
This is going to always be a question that's going to be asked. This is always going to be a concern. And for me, I think that in some sense it is valid because these players actually add to the creative chances that he gets. And I mean, in particular, De Bruyne is known for that. He's able to do that. Foden is 50-50 for me because I'm not really sure how effective Foden is to how Sterling, gets chances to try to finish. I think it's mostly between Bernardo Silva, or rather, if it's being judged based on last season, I can understand with Bernardo Silva because I think it was a case where he had a more key role. But I think with De Bruyne and Silva, those were the two ones that actually played a role. But I think people also need to remember that in that case, you have different clubs that have reliance on different players. And yes, Man City rely on their midfield and, or attacking midfielders or the wingers, to create for each other. But at other clubs, you see that they use different personalities to do so. And I mean, if Tuchel wants Sterling, clearly he has a plan for him, and I think he will understand. And I'm pretty sure you would have seen that Sterling gets creations, made for him. I know he finds a way to create for himself to get himself into goal scoring positions. So I think yes, that De Bruyne and players like that are around him and they've made a name for themselves. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that he's only good because of it, because he doesn't have those players when he plays for England. And yes, even though when he played for England, he does make these rash decisions where he doesn't make always the right decisions. But for international level, he doesn't have these players around, and he can also score goals. So I'm not really sure about saying that because he still looks like a good player when he
But
plays.
how many goals for England?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that is
No, but Ty, how
true.
many goals for England?
I don't know the stats per se, but
Go ahead.
He was England's best player. He was England's best player.
I'll try and find out.
Euros.
She just said he still scored goals for England, right?
yes, I mean
Yeah, he played in the Euros too. Yeah.
Yeah. So the what I'm saying is that in that regard, yes, he has these personalities, Man City, but we're not going to be just looking at bringing him in. Because there's also an importance of improving in the midfield. So it's not like we're going to be disregarding the midfield completely and and just look at the attack and the defense, because that makes no sense. And I used this analogy before. You cannot build a house starting from the roof and then you do the walls. It makes no sense. You have to start from the ground up. So I think in that regard, yes, people think that we're not going to do anything in the midfield, but I think that there's a position that cannot be left out, considering that the midfield is getting older, and certain players, there's uncertainty around their future. So I think in that sense, you could end up seeing midfielders come in. It's just about when those midfielders come in and who those midfielders will be. So I'm not really sure about judging him and saying that he looks good because of the players he has around him. Because I think in a sense he doesn't have those players when he plays for England, and he still looks like a good player. So I'm not sure about that.
He has a strong defense and midfield behind him when he plays for England, so he's able to perform up front. I hear what you're saying. We're saying the same thing, Ty. But the problem is, at the moment, we're just hoping. There is absolutely no sign of any midfielder or indeed defender coming into Chelsea at the moment. Right now, it is Tumbleweed FC. Nothing is happening.
No, don't
No, let him finish. Let him finish, Dales.
No word.
No,
Go
I've got
ahead,
to have a
Bobby.
go at these guys. I'm going to keep attacking them until I start seeing people coming in.
Yep.
Tumbleweed
Bobby,
FC. What's going
Assessing
on?
FC.
Nothing is happening. Nothing. Sorry?
Assessing
Considering
FC.
FC.
Yeah,
We're
assessing,
considering this
monitoring
player.
FC.
We're
When
we're
we
talking
sign
about
someone,
this.
you won't be
We're
saying
talking
that.
about
When
that.
we sign someone, you ain't gonna be saying that. Trust me, you ain't gonna be saying that.
Yeah, okay.
Trust me.
I won't. When we sign someone, let's get on with it. People are getting deals in. Pre-season started today.
This ain't the
What,
Roman
we're going to get
Abramovich
them
era,
on the
though.
last day of the season after pre-season. What good is that?
But-
Then we'll be talking about, this player, he needs 3 months to
But
settle
this ain't the
in.
Roman
He needs
Abramovich
a
era. That's
season
what
to
people need
settle
to
in.
stop thinking. This ain't the Roman
Chaos.
Abramovich era.
Chaos FC. We are in chaos right now. Chaos. We're not doing anything. We need to be active. And this is where I blame these people. You're coming in, Todd Boehly doing everything on his own. It's chaotic. Chaotic.
Right.
It's as bad as what he inherited.
All right, we'll get back to that. I know you're angry, but that's not. We'll get back to whether Todd Boehly is doing well or not. Right now, True says Frenkie de Jong is a midfielder. I've highlighted this. We'll talk about that in a bit. IBZ, your thoughts on that comment regarding players around Raheem Sterling? What do you think?
Again, remember what we said before, innit? Again,
Exactly.
Raheem will come in. When Raheem comes in, he's good. I don't worry about the chances that we will be able to give him, because I believe that will get sorted. Like the brother said before, I believe that it's not just going to be Raheem being able to come in and being the addition to the attack we have. I believe that there may be some investment in the midfield as well as defense.
Yep.
In which we'll be able to accommodate not just Sterling, but the other new players that will be able to get the new Tuchel style of play, getting the players that he wants. Tuchel hasn't really signed anyone. Who did he sign? Lukaku. I mean, that's not a real definition of Tuchel's style of play or his implementation of the squad. He still wants to probably invest in the defense, his midfield, and his attack, and which is what we're seeing. So again, when Raheem comes, or if he comes, I couldn't say when. It should be imminent, but when Raheem comes, I don't think it will be a problem. I think it will actually be, even if we, hypothetically speaking, let's say we don't sign anyone, and it's just Raheem Sterling, which obviously is highly, very, very unlikely. He's a great addition. He can run down either flanks, even if you have him and Pulisic on either flank, that's still as effective. And it's not a bad move. It's good for him. He can make that. He can, obviously you could say, oh yeah, he had De Bruyne, he had all of these guys behind him, but I believe his position and his directness, all he needs is the ball through a goal and he's gone. And I don't think you're telling me that we ain't got Chelsea players that can put people on goal if they got the speed to break the last man or break through a defense. I believe so. I believe we do.
No, I don't think we do. And I
You
don't
don't
think he
think
do.
you
How
don't
many?
think-
How?
you don't
Yeah,
think we
wait,
do?
let me ask you this quickly, IBZ.
Mount did that in the Champions League final. He split a whole defense and put Kai through. Are you telling me
How
he
many
can't
times
do it?
has he done it?
No, but it don't matter. But he can do it. He
Exactly.
can
No,
do it.
that's the question. How many times? How consistently can he do it? That's the thing. We have a problem there. IBC coming back to you. I get
no
your
problem,
argument,
no
what
problem.
you just said, and you understand my response. Yeah, brother. I hope you're
I'm
okay.
with my coach. I love you, my brother. Coach, this is why I love this place. This is the space for me. I love it. This is it.
Mhm.
I learn from you. We learn from each other. We
So-
gain an understanding. This is it.
Yeah. So my question is, you said we have players who can. That's it. Your statement was that we have players who can do that as long as he can make the runs. We've had a team of the Werner on occasions, even Lukaku, even though he's not one of my best players at Chelsea Football Club, make good runs and the balls, but no balls. But the midfielders don't find them. We have serious issues in the midfield area in terms of chance creation. Even the eights in most cases can't find the runners.
So now it will now go back to planning, and it will now go back to Tuchel's thinking, saying that he's going to have to provide a midfielder that'll be able to provide those precision type passes, that'll be able to find the man without no problems. If we're now saying that we haven't got that chance creation in our squad, then obviously if we're going to bring Raheem Sterling,
I think we lost IBZ there. I'll let him continue when he comes back. Again, thank you very much for 60 likes. We can again, if you're coughing, I hope if you're coughing, I hope you're good.
Coach.
Yes.
When are we talking about Rafinha?
We will in a bit.
I got some
ahead.
words for Ty. I got some words for Ty as well.
Okay. Go ahead. IBZ, finish your thoughts.
So, I do apologize. Sorry, I just had a
No worries, brother.
So like again, if you're saying to me, we don't have the chance creation for a player like Sterling, then there is no two ways about it. That we're going to have to find someone that's going to be able to create those chances or add to the chance creation that we already have to make it better for players like Sterling and or Rafinha and or Dembele, or if we were to get a striker so we can get these chances going. Again, I've seen that my players can do it. I've seen Timo Werner being put through on goal. I've seen us break. Obviously, the consistency is an argument that we need to address. And that is what we'll be sorting out. This is why we have the chance to do that right now in this window. Get the players in, get pre-season in. Maybe Lukaku wasn't the right idea. Let's all regel and find out how we'll be able to get these things, get things sorted. Again, it's not too late. Obviously, I understand what the brother was saying that, we haven't made signings, our rivals have made signings. I feel the same energy too, but we have to understand this is a transition and this is a new period. This ain't Roman anymore. This is Todd Boehly. But he did make a correct point. Todd Boehly was a bit rash in coming in and doing just a clear out. I mean, maybe if he'd just given it some time to see the existing personnel that are in place that have been doing this already, you oversee it, Todd, and you will make a final decision and/or you'll make it imminent that they'll be leaving next year, for instance. But you're fresh in this. This is a treacherous market. I don't think Todd Boehly's experienced in Premier League dealings, football dealings, world football transfer dealings, calling up CEOs that I want the player. I don't think he has that experience. So maybe that is his downfall, in which we may suffer it. I don't pray for it, but we may suffer because of that. But I believe he may hire the best in class for us to get things done. I'm hearing that he's got potential DOFs, director of football technical directors, that be able to get things sorted. But again, will matter of time. We're in July 1st now, July 2nd or so. Season starts in 4 weeks. What are we talking about? So we need to. He's on it. He's passionate for it. Let's just see if he can do it. I don't worry. I believe we will get transfers over the line. Like I said, July 1st.
I offered Chelsea Football Club my services as a sporting director. Todd Boehly doesn't trust the past board. I don't think he felt that they would have given him the best in terms of performance, and that, amongst many things, has helped them, has made him make that decision. He's isolated, he's on his own at the moment, and he needs any help he can get. I've asked Chelsea. I'm ready to go there. I want to help Chelsea.
Ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go there.
Yeah, this is the second time he's saying that here.
Yep.
What about
I
Czech?
think it is
What about Czech?
chaos.
Would you?
It
What
is
do you
check,
think
check
of
this
Czech?
out.
Steve,
expensive.
check left. Check
They
left.
don't
I'm
even
fearing.
know
I'm
the
fearing that.
targets. I'm tired of talking about it. I want to do something about it, and this is what can be done.
Right.
I'm serious. I don't
Yeah,
think that club
I
has
think
a direction at the
I think
moment.
yeah. Let's leave talking about Todd Boehly towards the end of the show. Let me try and catch up with those in the chart because I've left them. Yeah, I've not seen what they have to say about everything we're talking about right now. Right now, we have 128 people watching, and we have just 61 likes. Wherever you're watching from, please take a second to like the video. Again, if anybody asks you to pay, tell them in life, no limit had already paid for you, or True Blue, or even Chelsea, the King, or Slayer, because I'm seeing them join it now. Please like the video. And again, like I've told you before, I'd prefer you liking the video than donating to the channel. The likes do more for the channel than you donating your hard-earned money. There are other ways the channel can make money. Just keep liking the video to help us reach more people. We want more people to join us because we're always objective here. We educate people. We try to find a sensible conclusions on whatever we see out there. We don't just feed you our opinions. We allow you to we'll learn from those in the chat. We'll learn from those on the panel as well. So please, thank you very much for 67 likes, but keep liking the video so that we can reach more people. Vox Edit here says the difference with Sterling is that he is a Premier League proven, and I think he will perform. I do think he will perform, but where I disagree with you, no, it's no such thing as Premier League proven. That's no guarantee. We've bought players from Premier League clubs that end up, the rest is history. Drinkwater, Fernando Torres, who again go. You will find out from the list yourself that that's no guarantee that the player will perform. And here I says, give Hudson a chance. Not sure how willing Raheem is to defend the sides, which is what Hudson is learning. Raheem is class, just holds the ball too long. No play is perfect. And again, that's something that can be solved. Again, Hudson-Odoi needs a loan. He cannot make the final pass, and his decision aren't good. I think I disagree with you on that. He's actually on his day, he's a fine creator. If you paid attention how he plays. Again, I think what the case of Hudson-Odoi is this: the truth about the guy is this: that player he was when he was still in the Chelsea academy isn't the player he is right now. Why? Because as a player matures, even the most skillful player, you start seeing less and less of that flair. It's not that he's become that is less, you could say, less stylish if you want to phrase it that way. He's becoming more mature, and he's becoming more of a team player than an individual player. I think that's why people are quick to judge him, and we see him just the same thing as Pulisic. We seem to forget how old he is. He's still a kid. If you want to see it that way. So I think we should. I don't think Thomas Tuchel will even let him go on loan because he's seen him. He's seen what he's capable of doing, and we've seen flashes of that. All he needs is just play more game, and then I think we'll see a better Hudson-Odoi this coming season. Again, that's my argument. You may well see it differently. I think we're going to change our formation this coming season. I still believe that. Some people argue otherwise for obvious reasons because of what the manager himself said. He said openly that I think I can't remember the exact way he phrased it. I don't want to misquote him, but what he implies that he's not looking to change the system. They're comparing the attacking style of City and Liverpool to our slow play out from the back, tap position. Allows defense to be organized. That's just the truth. Again, that's the way Thomas Tuchel likes to play. Maybe that changes if he gets the chance to bring in players. Again, I can't read everything, but I'll try to read a few here. Then others I'll be highlighting. I've highlighted a few things that I'd like the panel to address as the show progresses. He started 14-23, includes alleged subs. That's the truth. That's why we are going to fast and direct players like Dembele, Rafinha, and Sterling. That may well be the case. Exactly my point. Okay, he's talking to somebody that spoke that before. Sterling has scored or assisted in every other game in the league in the last 5 seasons. No player we have can near that. Again, Liam, I love you, brother, but my argument has always been, have we played those specialty players in their preferred position? i.e. Ziyech, i.e. What's his name? Christian Pulisic. In most cases, they've played out of positions. But that's my argument. Now I'm going to come back to the panel. Let's talk about Rafinha. Let me start with you. You seem to be, to be ready to go already. In that case, you Deals. Go ahead, shoot your shot.
Rafinha. Well,
Mhm.
now he is a type of player that will go on to one v one type of winger. Yeah, he
Mhm.
likes going at defenders. Yeah, so for him to come to Chelsea, I think he would thrive. Yeah, but
Okay.
he wants to go to Barcelona. This is the problem we're gonna have. Yeah, we had the problem with Lukaku last season. He didn't want to be at our club. He wanted to be at Inter Milan. His mind was at Inter Milan. So if we're bringing Rafinha in, yeah, and he's coming in at Chelsea, his mind is at Barcelona, not Chelsea. That's what I'm saying. So with Rafinha, it's like a 50-50 one with Rafinha. Like, I don't know, with Rafinha coming to Chelsea doesn't sound right because he wants Barcelona. The player wants Barcelona. So, what's your take on it, Coachella? Coachella?
Um. Again, I want him. Do I prefer him to Ziyech? No. They're two. I think they're similar in terms of. I think he's preferred. He's primarily left-footed, right? They're
Yeah,
similar in terms of actually the way they dribble.
yeah,
But Ziyech for me is a better shooter. Is a better creator. But
yeah,
some people will argue otherwise. Why?
yeah,
Because the numbers will not. Again, I cannot back up my argument with the numbers when I argue for Ziyech. That is for the club to keep Ziyech rather than go for Rafinha. Save money actually and play with a player who's grown accustomed to how the manager wants to approach the game. But again, that was it most definitely bring me back to my argument that Ziyech has been played out of position in most cases, and he's a specialty player. That's me. So I prefer Ziyech, but I want Ziyech to leave. I want him to go where he'd get the chance to play, where he prefers to play, and do well. So yeah, at the same time now, I want a Rafinha. He can help us break down teams. He's a good dribbler. That's what I want. But is he a better creator than Ziyech? I would
no.
argue no. That's me. Anybody on the panel wants to come in? Ty, your thoughts?
On what, really?
He's asked a question. Go ahead. You ask him the question, Dales.
All right, Ty. So the reason why I'm asking you about this situation about Rafinha, because we had a debate yesterday about Rafinha, right? The player wants Barcelona. We end up getting Rafinha, yeah, and his mind's on Barcelona. It's going to be another situation again like Lukaku. So I don't want a player that doesn't want to be at the club. So, like, why are we going to go for a player that does not want to be at the club? You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Ty, you come in.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the question switched up a bit, but it's still a good question. You go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, by that logic, you're saying that we get Rafinha,
Yeah.
and we're his second choice, we're second fiddle,
Yep.
and he comes, his mind is on Barcelona, and this is the case. This is the case. I understand where people are coming from with that, and I mean, I think Just Viola said this yesterday. We're suffering the aftermath of Lukaku's entire situation, what he did, and I think this has sent a message to Chelsea fans that they need to be careful with these situations. But at this very moment, all of this is just assumptions. You're just right now we're believing what we're seeing from the media. Yes, it's pretty clear that he wants to go to Barcelona. There is no ifs or buts about that, because if he wanted to come to Chelsea, I'm pretty sure he would have
Wrap that up.
organized. Let me just finish.
Yeah.
He would have organized the meeting a long time ago, because the only thing that would need to be done is personal terms. But to say that his mind is going to be on this, his mind is going to be on that, that's assuming things, because I'm pretty sure Rafinha isn't stupid enough or immature enough to say that the only reason and the only way we get him is if Barcelona are not able to pay up front, and that is what Leeds want them to do. Pay up
They
front.
do that.
They don't want to get installments, and that is what Barcelona are offering. Installments. They want the money up front. And that's one of the reasons why they accepted Orbit, because we gave the money up front. So that is the thing. So the only way we get him is if they don't decide to pay up the money up front and outbid what we did. But I don't really think they're gonna accept what they offer. If it's exactly what we offer, it's gonna have to be decided based on who bids higher. So I think in that sense, saying that he's gonna be coming and his money is gonna be on Barcelona, I don't think he's gonna be immature to say that. Oh, I wanted to go to this club, because if they don't offer,
no, he's a professional. He's a
yeah,
professional.
that is what I'm saying. People looking at Lukaku. Look what Lukaku did is that he Lukaku's situation is completely different from Rafinha's situation. He never felt like he was being used properly, and he wanted to go back to a place where he had his best of years. That is completely different with Rafinha. The narrative is completely different. The
Yes,
only
I know that.
so
I
it's
know
not
that.
about him
Yeah,
being
let
at the
him
club
finish,
before.
Dios. Let him finish.
It's not about him being at the club and then he wants to go back to the club. It's different. That's what Lukaku did. Lukaku wanted to go back to the club where he felt like he was being utilized properly, where he had his greatest of years. A club that, and he expressed it. He had a good treatment from them. They helped him, lose weight, and they helped him to do things. That's basically it. So people comparing the situation with Lukaku, it's not true, because the narrative is completely different. Yes, Rafinha could be having his man and saying that I really wanted to go to Barcelona, but I'm pretty sure that if it comes down to Chelsea and he ends up signing, I'm pretty sure he's gonna try to have an open mind to playing at Chelsea, because he'll understand that Barcelona did not meet the demands of his current parent club. And that is the thing. So yes, Deco wants to have personal terms, and he had it 4 months ago with Barcelona, personal terms agreed. But people need to remember, Leeds have the final say in this. They control the transfer in particular. If they don't accept the bid, then he can't move, because the bid has to be accepted from his current parent club. So that is why, for me, people saying that we're going to have another Lukaku situation is different, because the narrative is that he was at Inter, and because it didn't work out, or he thought it wasn't going to work out, he wanted to go back there. Rafinha was not at Barcelona.
No, I
He
know
has a
that. I
dream
know
move.
that. I know that. What I'm trying to say is we're gonna have a player that doesn't want to be at the club. Like, no,
No, but the
I'm
people
not
need
all
to
for
get
that.
this right. You're not
I'm
getting
not all
that
for
point.
that, but fuck
You're
that.
not getting the point. The
Yeah.
point of the matter is he has a first choice. That is
Yeah,
what he has. He has a
100%.
first choice. How many times have we signed players who have had first choice, who were persistent on going to this club, and then they changed their mind, and they had an open
Here's
mind.
the thing. If I can comment, Ty, you have something else to add to it? Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to add quickly add this part. We've seen players who have their first choice at choose Chelsea after being persistent. So yes, he has his first choice, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to be open to his second choice. I mean, people need to understand that a lot of the greatest players that have come to the club
Yeah.
were going to other clubs, and we hijacked that deal, and then they were coming to us. So people need to remember that Mikel was going to go to my United. Zola was good. Zola wasn't coming to Chelsea at the time. I mean, William, for example, was going anywhere. So I mean, in that sense, people need to understand that yes, he has his first choice. Yes, he wants to go there. That's his dream move, because Barcelona have this historic record in Europe and in Spain. So obviously they're gonna attract people, and having Javi there as the manager is going to be attractive as well. So people need to remember that even though that is the case, it doesn't mean that he's going to be coming and saying, "Oh, I can't wait to go to Barcelona. I want to go back to Barcelona. I want to go to Barcelona." It's not going to be like that. You're just assuming that's the case, and it's not a Lukaku situation, because he was never at Barcelona to go back to.
Yeah, let me quickly add to what you're saying. Again, it depends on how you want to see it. I think you're making a point. Deals is also making a great. You both are making a great point, but again, finally, at the end, it depends on how you see it. If you want to see it from the perspective of a player who say, for instance, in the case what we're hearing about Rafinha, that he's bent on joining Barcelona, he doesn't want to even talk to Chelsea Football Club. Then you have to consider the club's how do I phrase it? The club's pride. If you want to see it like that, you have to consider the club's pride in terms of you don't like what we're seeing by the Twitter feed that we're scrolling. One of, I think it was Vince that says that for now, F Rafinha if he doesn't want to come to Chelsea. Now you to preserve your respect in the football world, it's okay. You don't want to come to us. Bye bye now. I remember Madrid saying to Bale, was it Bale? If you don't want to come to us, you will never get a chance to play for Madrid again. That's them just saying we're a big club, and if you don't want to come to us now, I don't remember who exactly, but I think was it Ronaldo? I'm not sure who, but that's how, if you see it from that angle. From another perspective, Rafinha is a professional. If we're seeing it as Ty is describing, in terms of first choice, second choice, even third choice in most cases, if the first choice doesn't work, you go to the second choice. You still perform. You're a professional. Even if he's bent on going to Barcelona as a professional, but the Barcelona, his negotiations with Deco and Barcelona, if it falls through, then he comes to Chelsea. He still has to play. He's a professional. He gets paid to play. But that's, by the way, and I want to talk about this delicious comment on the screen. It says, get in a valid bids, not low and trade player deals. This is not US baseball. I think this makes perfect sense. And it just seems as if that's how Todd Boehly is approaching it. Because all we're seeing is a trading, make weight and all that. But that's, by the way, I like that comment. And here, Lemlen says, no disrespect, Bobby, to you, but you're only looking for things to be negative about. Can you not just wait until we see who we buy and then comment on what we think of the players got and how they fit in? Again, that's your argument, and then I've
got some breaking news, a little bit of breaking news.
Okay, just 1 second. And I like how civil your response is to Bobby. You no name calling there. I like it, and I know it didn't come across as insulting to him too. And again, Bobby, what do you want to say quickly? Let me catch up with the chat.
Okay, just to satisfy the chat, I've just been listening to Fabrizio Romano. Nothing special. We're still swimming in treacle, but he's given a perspective with the Rafinha situation that I've always had. Rafinha kind of is looking at an exclusive transfer situation with Barcelona. 4 months ago, this guy reached an agreement with Barcelona. And to be fair to him, an agreement is what he wants to honor. Now, all of a sudden, he was up for sale. You know, if a car's up for sale, that means anybody can come and buy it. And Chelsea, by default, almost strategically, have put in a bid that has been accepted, which has hurried Barcelona and put pressure on them. Now, the bid that Chelsea have put in is more favorable than the bid Barcelona that have recently put in. Chelsea, I think, are quite prepared to pay 60 million upfront and 5 million in add-ons. Barcelona want to pay 45 to 50 million upfront and the rest in add-ons over a longer period of time, which is totally unacceptable to Leeds. Of course, they're a business. Now, what Rafinha is doing, or his team, is because of the agreement they were happy with in the beginning, and as far as he's concerned has not changed, they are trying to give Barcelona time to see if they can come up with the right payment structure for their deal to go through. Now, where Barcelona are tying themselves in knots is that he has clearly said that if it doesn't work with Barcelona, his second choice is then Chelsea. So if Barcelona are honest and come out and say, look, hey, Rafinha, we can't do this deal anymore, he will say, okay, fine, I'm going to Chelsea. So that is the reality of the current situation. On Chelsea's part, there's nothing to do. They've done what they should do. They're sitting back. They're not saying anything, and they're watching the situation. The deal is on the table. Take it or leave it. I see no embarrassment in that at all. If you don't want to take it, okay, bye. See ya. If you take it, great. Welcome to Chelsea. We're back in that situation. Then what Fabrizio is alluding to also is the Sterling situation. He is kind of saying, without actually directly saying, that yes, there's agreement for Raheem Sterling. But what's making the deal last a little longer is that Chelsea want to get both Raheem Sterling and Nathan Ake, which are two separate deals, but from the same club. Man City are very keen on this deal because they want to use the money from the sale of either one of them to get Cucurella. So that's the situation there, quite clearly. He also said that Chelsea are still in for De Ligt and for Jukes Kounde. Now, that is a broad statement because that is exactly what we were told about 3 weeks ago, or rather 2 weeks ago. So that is exactly where we are. Now, my concern with all this is that time waits for nobody. I fully understand the situation we're in. But the reality is we've got no time to sit down crying for ourselves. We've got to keep pace no matter what. You know, if you're running a race with a bad leg, you still have to outpace your competitors, whether your leg is bad or not. And if you fall behind because of your bad leg, your competitors won't stop. They will get to the finish line and look at you and just shrug their shoulders. This is what's happening. We can't afford to fall behind. And we've got to be more decisive in these deals. That's all. The Rafinha thing, we've done everything. That's fine. Good. No problem. We wait and see what happens. It's all down to Rafinha. It's all down to Barcelona. Put your money where your mouth is. You really reckon you can throw money around? Well, let's see it. Because Leeds is fine. Leeds have said what they want. You give them a better deal, they'll go for it. You can't, they won't. Period. Rafinha has said what he wants. Well, we reached an agreement in 4 months ago. That's what I want to stick to. So it's now up to you to give Leeds what they want. So all the pressure right now is on Barcelona. They promised their fans Lewandowski. They promised Alonso a deal. They promised Azpilicueta a deal. They promised Christensen a deal. They promised Frank Kessie a deal. They're talking about selling this player, but at the same time buying this player. They've sold their rights. They have no headspace right now. They are running around like a headless chicken because of all the things. They've got too many fingers in too many pies. And we're just sitting there watching. Fine, that's their business. But our issue now is our issue. And our issue is that we have to address the areas of concern where we need players. Too much talking has been happening. If we're going for Koulibaly, get Koulibaly. If we're going for De Ligt, get De Ligt. People are saying it's complicated. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. Either you pay or you don't. We are complicating it because we don't want to pay. That's all. That's all. If you want to get if you're going to buy a car, you'll drive out of the showroom that minute if you pay cash. But if you want to pay with finance, you spend about an hour in the showroom filling out papers. Do you see what I'm saying? And if you want to do part exchange, it takes even longer. So that's what's happening. We're trying to do all these other things. Either we pay, take our guy and go, or we do these other things. And I think this is where the decision making comes in. I think rather than put ourselves in jeopardy, start talking about players that we cannot afford to let go of, like Pulisic, just give them the money. If they don't want Werner, give them the money. Simple. That's just the truth of the matter. Now, if you want to think that's negative, that's fine, but that's reality. Sometimes reality is negative.
Yeah. So obviously, your thoughts on the Rafinha conundrum, where we are with it, and do you think it's still come to Chelsea?
I You see me, with footballers, I believe they're in a different headspace than we think. We think that like they're professional people. They are professional. Their mindset is different. I believe if he was to if the deal, let's just hypothetically say, the deal with Barcelona didn't go through, and he decides Chelsea, he will still put in an effort. He will still put in a shift. He's a professional. He needs to play. He will put in his effort. So I don't buy we're second choice to these players. He had an agreement 3 months ago. This was a verbal agreement in which they want to honour, and they're finding out how they can still honour that deal, albeit with the expenses that they have. Leeds will not bust luck because we have matched or even bettered the offer, and Leeds will obviously go for a better offer. So obviously now it's a waiting game. Maybe Leeds will put a deadline on the bid, because sometimes these deals have deadlines to make a decision or what have you, so that business can keep moving. So Leeds probably have given Barcelona a deadline of a week to get your finances sorted. If not, boom, terms can change. Deco maybe trying to, I don't know, talk with Barcelona and see what deal could be done where they can agree, and he can go back to Leeds and say, look, it's a bit sticky, but Leeds have a stance. It looks like they're sticking with their stance. They don't have to sell, and they can sell to who they feel is the perfect bidder. They don't care if Rafinha has dream club Barcelona.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah, who would you rather prefer, Rafinha or Dembele?
Right, obviously continue. You can answer the question and continue if you want to.
I'll answer that. One's Premier League proven, one's not. One's injury prone, one's not. I will lean towards Rafinha a bit, but Dembele, if he's on his day, he's unstoppable. But I'll only lean to Rafinha because of his experience in the Premier League. He's been there. He's in the nitty gritty. He just had a relegation scrap last year, so he knows what it is. He knows what it takes. You know what I mean? So I believe I'll lean towards him. But I'll take both. Both of them are sick. But in terms of Rafinha coming to Chelsea and his mindset, I do not believe it will alter. I believe them players like that will know where they've come from, where they are, and automatically you will step up your game. This is not the time for you to have sentiments about my childhood dream. You work towards that. If albeit you put in your most shift, put it in for Chelsea, and whatever happens, happens. But it's not about, I'm here to, I don't want to be here. No. I think the narrative that should kind of stop, so that we can give these players a chance to adapt to the new environments they are in which they'll shine. So I'll take Rafinha all day. Yeah.
Now I want to let's just talk about this here, and Ty, I'll start with you because I want to help Haugie and Travis start the other show, and now I'll come back here again. Ty, I want you to hold the fort with the show, continue the show for me. Ty, are you there?
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Ty, your thoughts on this comment on the screen? Deco himself has caused all this problem, as it's reported this morning that he took commission from Barca for the deal in January and was assuming Leeds would be relegated, and Barca gets him up for 25 million. Ty, your thoughts on that?
Chelsea can sue him as well because he's taking commission from Chelsea as well. He's in the. That's why I say we just need. So
Bobby, you go ahead. You go ahead with this topic. You bring in others one by one to talk. I don't know why Ty left. Let me help Haugie and Travis start the other show. So I'll leave it to you, Bobby. You go ahead, control the show for me. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Deco is playing a dangerous game. He's courting Barcelona to try and get them to honor their initial agreements. At the same time, he's not blameless in this Chelsea situation, because before you can even start making moves on his client, you have to give him some commission. So he's gladly taken Chelsea money, and he's trying to, at the same time, negotiate with Barca after taking Barca money. So he's in a bit of a mess in all this. The only people that are sitting pretty and cool in this is Chelsea and Leeds United. So Deco is not blameless. And I just think it's not over yet at all. And anybody really worried about, if Rafinha comes, will he have his heart at Chelsea? Maybe not initially, but will that affect his performance? I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
Watch this. I'm gonna give you that £7 back soon because I've got COVID at the moment. Oh no, man. Don't worry about it. I will give it back to you. I will. You right though? Yeah, I'm alright.
Who was that?
I think that was I don't know his name.
Oh,
The other guy.
talking about COVID.
LBC, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Bobby. Yeah, please.
Yeah, so the Rafinha situation, the only thing, yet again, another thing that upsets me is we've got enough problems. I'm just upset that we're getting involved in a bit of a messy deal, not from our part, but from the part of the actual person involved. You know, we don't need that. We need clear cut, get the deal done. You know, we're now being tangled in this stupid love triangle that you know, where that really has very little to do with us per se. That's all I've got to say on the matter.
LBZ, your thoughts? IBZ.
Yeah, I mean, again, same as before. I don't think his mindset. These are professional guys, so whether or not he has, obviously, it does matter a bit if you really want to look at it and say, yeah, he wanted to play for Barcelona, but everybody wanted to play for Barcelona. Everybody wanted to play for Spain. It's better weather over there. Spain is lovely. I would love to go play there over Man United. You know, but it's like it's a step up. Rafinha playing Leeds from where was he before Leeds? I don't know. Let me even see. Where was he before Leeds? And he went to Leeds. He went to Leeds, and now he's being linked to Barcelona and Chelsea. So like it's a step up. He was at Rennes, yeah. So he's been in Portugal, then he's been to Rennes, then he's gone to Leeds. So yeah, I think he'll give his all any club he goes to, be it Barcelona or Chelsea. I don't think we need to question his mindset. Obviously, it's because of they made contact with him before us. So I think in terms of the business, in terms of the transfer itself, I think we need to honor the delay it may cause in terms of Barcelona still trying to make sure that agreement is still honored in terms of getting the deal over the line, seeing what best solution that can be done. Because they had first dibs. We've just come with the offer and said, yeah, we can match it or we can go better. Leeds have accepted it. They're not accepting theirs. So it's all about how Barcelona want to do it. But boy, if they have a deadline, then like the brother just said now, he said their heads all over the place. I'm not even worried, coach. I'm not even worried. Like, I'm not worried about none of it. I think we'll get all of our targets that we need, and I think we'll be surprised. I really think we'll be surprised. I think we're just worrying. I think we're going to get it done, and we'll be ready for Everton. I believe so. Hello?
Yeah, so sorry, I was still helping them organize that, but I get your point. Ty, you want to add anything to this particular topic so we can move on to something else?
I didn't hear the question.
No, your thoughts on everything going on with the Rafinha story. Do you think he'll still come to Chelsea?
I think it's down to Barcelona, honestly, because I think they are the favorites to get him. It's just about if they don't do what needs to be done, which is, you know, pay the money that these are demanding upfront and not through installments or add-ons or whatever term you want to use, then he may end up having to negotiate with Chelsea and, you know, find an agreement there. I do believe that, you know, people have the wrong narrative, and I think the media has a key role to play, because you hear in 1 minute Rafinha has told Deco to not listen to anybody else. Then you hear in the next minute that Deco went behind Leeds back to do this. So you just have to take whatever you hear with a grain of salt, because honestly, at this very moment, nobody knows except for Rafinha and Deco what is actually happening per se in their minds, because I don't know that Leeds were expecting this to happen. They thought that they had found an agreement with a club, and then with all this confusion now, where they could have probably gone and finished their business, because they've lost they're about to lose Calvin Phillips, and they need to get along with their business as well. So I think in that sense, it's really not clear what to believe and what not to believe, because you're hearing different reporters say different things, and right now I don't know what to take as validity or not, because it's all confusing. But for me, I really don't know if he's gonna come to Chelsea if Barcelona are willing to, like Bobby said, put the money where their mouth is, and offer what Leeds are asking up front. I really don't know, but I think the agent, like Bobby was saying as well, has a key part to play in this, because I think he's the one that went behind Leeds back 4 months ago, and tried to find an agreement with another club, because of the assumption that his clients current club would be get relegated, and as a result the price that would fall. So I think in that sense it's confusing, because Deco, and this is something to remember, Deco actually works for Barcelona as well. So I mean, him doing this shouldn't come as a surprise, because I think he was an ex-player there. He played there as well, so he's going to have that connection as well, and he's also employed to them, as well as being the agent of Deco. So Deco of Rafinha. So I think it's key to remember that as well. So him doing this, it means that he's working for them. He's trying to get them a player that he has a job of finding for them, because he's a scout for South American players. So I mean, as a result, Rafinha falls into that category, and he might as well be trying to find that player, as the answer to what his job was to do, and that is to scout somebody. So it's the easiest thing for him to do. But I think Deco is very key in this situation, because we never know. Rafinha could be being blamed that he could not have done anything, or maybe he's the one who told Deco to do that because he thought they were going to get relegated. You never know. It's that is what I'm saying, that it's down to Deco and Rafinha and what they're thinking amongst themselves. And
Yeah.
true, no, yeah, that is true. But that was not. I was trying to make a different point. I guess you didn't understand what I meant.
No, I understood everything you wanted to say, but while I'm with you, let's just go straight into talking about the lead. Again, I know we've talked about it a bit on the show here, and
Coach,
apologies.
sorry, Coach.
Yeah.
I'll be back in like 20, 30 minutes. I got to quickly do something, but I'll be back. I've still got
No problem.
panel and background anyway. I'll be back.
No problem. And again, apologies to those in the chat and the channel audience that the two shows are clashing. It was Haugi, the schedule, he already scheduled a guest to be on the show with them. Frankly, Saturdays. It was frankly Fridays now. Frankly, it's Saturdays. So it's clashing. So that's why I'm here and there trying to organize. So that's why I'm going to end this one as soon as possible, so we can all just join in there. And thank you to her, Just Viola, for joining. Everybody else, Coach, we don't know that about Rafinha. The only what we have heard is back at PR. I doubt the club would be still if they wasn't interested in coming to us. I think that's a good argument, and I think Ty and I had a similar conversation where I argued to Ty, there's something that's making Chelsea hang on. So this is a delicious comment, by the way. That's something that's making Chelsea hang on to the pursuit of the player. I think either, I don't know how to phrase it, but you did put it correctly. There's something that's really making Chelsea still, say, okay, we give you 24 hours to decide or something like that. That is, if in fact, that's the truth. But I get your point. Ty, let me get your thoughts on De Ligt, because I'm not quite sure. I know he can fulfill the Thiago Silva role. He can play on the right. He can play on the left. Are we getting him just for his versatility, or do you think the club has a specific role in mind? Because it doesn't seem like that's the case.
Honestly, I mean, it's confusing to know if they have a specific role for him. I believe that the thought process behind is trying to possibly getting him in for his versatility. Now, I think there's more than one reason. I think for one of the reasons he can be the what do you call that, the successor, if I can use that word, to an aging Silva, and having him in, to play on a certain day, the depending on what player is necessary, because we have to remember that injuries can pop up in a minute. And I keep using this, that I think Tuchel in particular wants to get in players that have that versatility, that he's allowed to play certain players if one player is not available for a specific reason. I think it's down to him, valuing him in a sense, to try bring him in, try to have him in his team in terms of having that versatility, so that he can also switch formations when necessary. I don't think we're gonna be sticking with one formation. I think it will depend on what team we're playing against, and what tactics need to be done on that particular day. And I think having in players who have that versatility, where you can decide to play this player on this day or this player on another day, it will be key. I just think that there's no specific role for him to say that we're bringing him in to play in the center, we're bringing him in to play on the left. I think it's down to having him, because he has that availability on any side that he's being played on. I just think that it's down to them trying to find the best solution for all parties, because we have other players who, for example, Levi Cowell, who people say is undecided. His future is undecided. You have Chalobah, who plays on that right as well. You have other players as well that actually have been mentioned as somebody who will be assessed in preseason before a full decision is made on him. So I think it's down to the club trying to find the best option for everybody that will be involved, or everybody that will be affected, whether positively or negatively.
Yeah, and here it's the Jody is 748 asks the question: is Sterling a good player? Of course, he's a good player. The question is, will he fit into Thomas Tuchel's systems, or will he do well at Chelsea Football Club? I think with that, again, apologies to you all. I have to again. I don't know how many likes. We need just a few more likes. We need just around 17 more likes to get to 100 likes, and then I think I'm gonna end the show. So we joined them in the other show. Unfortunately, the two shows are clashing, and I'm the studio engineer for them. I apologize, but I will make it up to you guys by hosting an evening show today on the transfers as things heat up. It won't be an automated stream. I will be there, and I'll be talking with you. So I sincerely do apologize. And Just Viola here says, like the stream, guys, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Please keep liking the video, because the more you like the video, the more people will be able to reach. Again, I apologize for the clash in schedule. That's causing me a problem. I can hardly concentrate here. But that's, by the way, Ty, your final thoughts on everything we've talked about today.
This whole situation is very confusing with
let me just go with this one more time again before we round up. I'm arguing that the Dembele, that is, if we miss out on Rafinha, if the plan has always been get Rafinha or Dembele, if we miss out on Rafinha, it will be pretty difficult to get Dembele, because he'd go, oh, okay, so I was the second choice, never the first choice. Plus his salary is an issue. Your thoughts on that? Thoughts?
We said Dembele is second choice.
Yeah, he'd ask the question, so he was the second choice, never the first choice.
I mean, if he looks at it that way, that's petty, because you have to think about the fact that the club can't just wait to see if he's going to extend or not, because let's not forget that there's videos of him saying that he's staying at Barcelona, no matter when that video was taken, or no matter when it was released after it was taken. He was contracted to Barcelona, and he was still deciding on his future. So if Rafinha falls through, if they get him and they decide not to extend with him, which I don't know if that's going to happen still, he can't say that, oh, I'm the second choice, because they can't just wait to see if he's going to be extending or not. They're gonna have to try to do their business and try to see who they can get in as a backup option if he's not viable or it's not a possibility of getting him in. So if he thinks that, then that is petty because we're not going to be waiting on him and say, you know what, we want this player so badly, so we're just going to wait to see if he extends or not. I don't think he should think like that. I don't think he's that immature to think that. But I mean, that's just an assumption at the end of the day.
Yeah, again, with that, I think we've come to the end of this particular show. I'm going to end it so we can go support on the other show. Again, my honest apologies for the clash in schedules. It wasn't intentional. It was Helgi whose schedule was his. Before I knew what was happening, it was too late to move it forward so that we have time enough to complete the Blue Morning show. But again, I think you would enjoy the show, and I'll also be there. I'll join if need be, but I'll be behind the scenes helping them with everything. I apologize if I didn't get to your question. Again, we need just 10 likes to get this one to 100 likes. Again, that show is also about transfers, so I know you enjoy it. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video, and also go check out Ty Tuck's YouTube channel. Great content. He's a kid, but he knows Chelsea very well and understands the club in and out. I think if you check out his video, you would love his channel. And please do subscribe and let him know I sent you. I will probably share the link to his channel in the other show. But please, again, thank you. I cannot thank you enough, and I cannot apologize enough for the clash in schedules, which has cost me not to be fully concentrated on this one. But the promise is that I will host another show today, an evening show where I think Ty will be available because he likes evening shows, and even DJ Sub and other good panelists. So thank you again. God bless us all. See you guys on the next show. Cheers.